prime example of a complete 180 on YouTube, Idubbbz' content has transformed from saying slurs repeatedly and decimating YouTube careers to completely alienating his old audience, with a much less edgy persona, even openly disapproving of his past actions. Now, depending on who you are, you will either completely despise this change or love it, as his old fans feels he's betrayed both himself and them, whilst his new fans feel like he's a redeemed man, completely rid of his sins of the past. The case of Idubbbz is definitely an interesting one with several events leading up to the recent creator clash controversy. Idubbbz would first gain notoriety and popularity on YouTube through his series Kickstarter Crap, in which he critiqued Kickstarter products with comedy. This early series displayed how even early on, Idubbbz clearly possessed a knack for comedic timing and funny jokes. And evidently, I'm not the only person who thinks and thought this, considering that these videos have millions of views. Whilst a lot of the comedy within this series would probably be considered controversial by today's standards, ultimately it pales in comparison to the next successful series, Bad Unboxing, a series where he unboxed some pretty interesting stuff to say the least. These videos are mostly remembered for Idubbbz's constant use of slurs, which again, depending on who you are, either made you love or hate him, with no real in-between. This series was definitely very successful, but was nowhere near the level of his magnum opus. No, instead, that was reserved completely for a different series.
What we do here is go back.
Beginning with its first installment on YouTube reaction videos, Idubbbz's most notorious series Content Cop was unleashed onto the platform. In these videos, Idubbbz would again criticize those who he felt needed it, and instead of Kickstarter projects, he would now target individual people. Starting in late 2015, this series would even help lay the early foundations for the birth of commentary content on YouTube, with some of his most famous pieces targeting Tanamongu, Keemstar, Leafy, and Ricegum. However, the last two videos have since been taken down as a result of his changing character. My guess is probably due to the controversial stuff he said in those videos, which with the new image he tries to create now would just not fly. His Content Cop on Ricegum would end up being the last he made, and would mark the beginning of the end for Idubbbz's edgy career on YouTube.
I feel like sitting here with you now and seeing who you've become, I mean, you feel like a different person, you feel like a different energy, for lack of a better term.
Oh, I'm a totally different person. all of the cells in my body have changed.
As you've just heard from the man himself, present day Idubbbz is an entirely different person to his previous self, stating how all edgy content creators at some point wish to create more fulfilling content. This change in personality and content would alienate practically all of his original fanbase. He even acknowledged this, saying,
Yeah, but it's not the reason people started following my channel. I think
now whilst this change definitely did cause many to hate on Idubbbz, his first real run-in with hate and controversy would happen when his girlfriend started an OnlyFans. Such an action in the eyes of his old viewers made Idubbbz a simp, making it so any respect they still had for him disappeared. Though even despite the hate and viewers leaving, Idubbbz still manages to pull in pretty significant views. Though this controversy is not the reason Idubbbz is in such hot water today, though it may have sort of helped allow it to happen. If you didn't already know, Idubbbz hosts an event named Creator Clash, in which creators are put against each other to box for charity. All in all, a good concept. However, recently one of the YouTube boxers set to go against Chris Reagan, Froggy Fresh, was suddenly removed from the fight. Currently, it is not entirely known why this was done, but the two current theories is that this was done because Froggy had wanted to spar with somebody that embarrassed Idubbbz, that person being a man named Sam Hyde. Either that, or it was his comment about subscribing to Anissa Joma's, Idubbbz's wife's, OnlyFans. This whole situation has put Idubbbz into a lot of hot water. Personally, I think nobody should really care about what Anissa does, but it is kinda crazy how even the slightest joke about it causes Idubbbz to unjustifiably remove somebody from an event. Though of course currently that's purely just speculation. But come on though, it's probably the case. Anyway, it will be very interesting to see how this situation unfolds over the following days. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to watch more content like this, here are some more videos by me. As always, I've been Rudy, thanks for watching.